So, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a current subscriber, if you are new, then welcome to the channel for the first time. All right, please check out the content. And if it's something you can get with, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. This is the journey to 5,000. The purpose here is for us to learn and grow and share with each other. That's all I'm trying to do. I love to just, have conversations with folks about how we could be better people, right? So that's the goal of the channel. So if you mess with it, I would appreciate it if you subscribe and share the videos, like the videos, all that sort of stuff. All right, let's get into it. So I got a lot of topics I want to cover, but I'm going to start with today specifically. I want to focus on why it's important to really get a good grasp of who you are, right? So why is it important for you to understand and know who you are? And I think also I can get into this a little bit today, to recognize where you are in life. Let's get into it. So I love to ask folks, who are you? That's a question that I love to. It's like, who are you? So who are you? And a lot of people say, well, I was born and raised in so and so. 20 something years old, I'm 30 something years old. I have 3 brothers, sisters, whatever the case is, all that sort of stuff. I like to eat ice cream, and I like to do this and I like to do that. Okay, good. That's a start. But who are you? Like who are you though? Who are you? So what do you mean? And then I'll say, what makes you tick? What is it that makes you tick? What are your passions? What has shaped your life? What are the stories that, if you shared those stories, people will have a deeper insight into who you are? It's important to know who you are, because I think when you know who you are, you have a good sense of how you're going to get where you want to go. See, when you know who you are, it's easier for you to figure out how you're going to get where you want to go. So what does that look like? So who are you? Are you the type of person that gives up? Are you the type of person that will try something and quit? Right? Just quit. I know a lot of people like that. They'll try something once or twice and say, well, this is not for me, so I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to quit. Are you that type of person? Because if you're that type of person, and then you say to me, you got all these goals and you got all these dreams, we're going to have a conversation, because how are you going to accomplish all those goals and those dreams if you're the type of person, when faced with challenges once or twice, you just give up, you just quit, right? That tells me there is some restructuring of the brain that you need to do if you're going to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life, because life is going to be filled with so much trial and error that if you're one of those people who just, okay, I this happened, that happened, I guess I'm going to just completely change course. I guess I'm just going to give up. I guess this is not for me. Then you're going to have a very difficult time accomplishing a lot of the things you want to accomplish in life, because that's not how stuff goes, right? So who are you? What drives you? What are your passion? What is your passion? What are the things that upset you? What are your boundaries? What are the boundaries you have set? Because boundaries are important, and you know what boundaries to set when you have a good sense of who you are as a person. You know what boundaries that need to be set. Who are you? And the next thing is, how did you get to be who you are? How did you get to that point that this is who I am? Because if you're going to move forward and if you're going to grow, you need to understand first, well, how did I get here? What have I done or not done that has brought me to the position where I am currently in my life? So if you're currently in a bad relationship and you're looking at this video, bad doesn't have to be abusive. It could be abusive, it could be not, right? If you're in a bad relationship and you're looking at this video, you got to ask yourself, who am I? And how did I get here? Because though you may want to be, follow me, though you may want to be this person that will never allow him or herself or whatever the case is to be in a bad relationship, you have somehow ended up being that person because that's why you currently are in the bad relationship. So how you got where you are is because of who you are and because of what you have encouraged and because of who you have attracted. That has brought you to the point where you are if you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in. Who are you and how have you gotten where you are? Because when you look around and you see where you are, that's a reflection of who you are. If your finances are bad, they're out of whack, you got a lot of credit card debt, you got a lot of this loan or that loan, you doing all these crazy loans, you doing this, your finances just completely out of whack. Especially if you have been making money and you should not be in that particular situation, then that says something about who you are. It doesn't say that you can't change and become a better person, but what that tells me right now is that you're a person who cannot manage money, is that maybe you're someone who spends based on emotion, and if you spend based on emotion, you're going to be broke all the time. But it tells me you're someone who does not have a good relationship with money. You're someone who does not manage money well, and you may also not have boundaries. Because if you don't have boundaries, then folks are going to walk all over you if you've got a little bit of cash in your pocket. You don't got to be rich. You do not have to be rich for people to stick to you like a leech because you got a little bit of money. You got to be rich. And not just people, but the people who they're only in your life because you could give them something, cash or whatever the case is, right? So if you're in a bad relationship, then what is it about you that have allowed yourself to be in that bad relationship? Let's go back to the relationship. Are you one of those people who just become too dependent on folks? Codependency is hurting your individuality. It's hurting your independence, right? It's hurting you. Are you one of those people who, when you get in a relationship, you become too codependent to the point where you have lost your sense of identity? And if someone says, well, who are you? You can't even figure it out because you got to point to the next person. You got to point to the person that you're in the relationship with. I'm trying to tell you all, I hope this is making sense. You got to know who you are. It doesn't mean you're going to stay there. So if I was to say, well, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm addicted to drugs, or I'm whatever the case is. If I was to say those things about myself, it doesn't mean that is who I'm going to be forever. But first I have to admit, right? If I was one of those things, and I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that, but if I was labeling myself like that, first you have to admit who you are and acknowledge and take responsibility for where you are. So you got to acknowledge where you are, take responsibility for where you are and who you have become, right? Who you have become. And then after that is when growth can begin. You can't grow if you cannot grow as a person if you're passing off all of the responsibility of why you are where you are currently to other people, blaming other people. Well, it was because of so and so again. Okay, sometimes we don't draw a good hand. I mean, I completely understand that. Sometimes we do not draw a good hand, right? But there comes a point where you got to take responsibility for the things that are going on in your life. And if you have allowed other people, to a certain extent, when you get to a certain age, if you have allowed other people to mess with your life and in your life and with your life, and part of them messing in your life has brought you to the point where you are, then you got to take responsibility for the fact that you have encouraged some of your own pain. And that is difficult for a lot of folks to do. It's difficult for a lot of people to admit to themselves that part of the reason why I'm going through so much is because I encouraged somebody to treat me like, and because I encourage so much, that's why my life is SH whatever T. So responsibility. We gotta take responsibility for who we have become, where we are, and then acknowledge where we are. And then when we've acknowledged it and we take responsibility, then we could start looking toward the horizon in terms of, okay, now this is where I want to go. And how am I going to get there? And then seek the necessary help to be able to move forward, to be able to grow. You got to know who you are, folks. You got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. And you got to figure, and then when you know that, then you realize where you are right now. Tough pill to swallow sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to have more. I'm going to elaborate on that some more future videos. So I always ask folks to do two things at every, and you're going to hear me say this every video unless I just forgot. Do something good for someone. You do not have to be rich to give back. You do not have to be rich to give something for someone. It's to do something good for someone. It's not always about money. So do something good for someone. And then also do something good for yourself. Maybe you need to walk out of a bad relationship. Maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe you need to leave a job. You know what it is. Do something good for yourself. All right. So until next time, as I said, check out the videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, all that good stuff. This is the journey to 5,000 and beyond. Folks, have a good one. I will see you next time.